across the globe, not just Columbus, across the globe. So many people are getting introduced to Krishna consciousness. So we are millions. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. We are very, very fortunate to have Prema Sindhu Prabhu and Leela Manjari Mataji in our community. Let's give a big round of applause to Prema Sindhu Prabhu for he's going to speak for about 45 minutes or so, about 6:30. Then at the time, we will all stand up and the curtains will be open at the time, and we will do stand-up skit from 6:30 to 7. And then 7 to 7:30, we have 2 performances by Sunday school children. So we don't want to miss that. So it's going to be beautiful. And 7:30, we will have nursing prayer and then Mahaprasad. So we request everyone to participate in the entire program and honor Mahaprasadam at the end.
Yeah. Excuse me. Hare Krishna.
And please move forward. There is some space here. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming. So we'll go to 6:30, right? So 6:30. 6:30.
Yeah.
So as Ram Tirtha Prabhu was saying, that there are 2 very important festivals, Nityananda Trayodashi and Gaura Purnima.
They are not able to hear.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I'm having some cough, so please don't mind if I cough in between. So this is like our new year for Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Actually, let's do some Mangala Charan before I start. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhyaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahodito Gaudadaye Pushpavanto Chitroshando Tamonudo Ajanulambita Bhujo Kanakavadato Sankirtanai Kapitaro Kamalaya Taksho Vishwambharo Dvijavaro Yugadharma Palo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro. So, this is like our new year for the, thank you. It is like new year for our Vaishnavas, Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Gaura Purnima is when the new year starts. So, every new year we can make some resolutions for improving our spiritual life. And today is a very holy day because it is the appearance of the most merciful personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is not an avatar, he is avatari. Sometimes we say Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is an incarnation of the Supreme Lord, but he is Krishna himself who has come. He is the source of all incarnations, just like Krishna is the source of all incarnations. So, we can rededicate ourselves. We are already, so many of you are already dedicated. We can try to rededicate more to the process of Krishna consciousness, to the spreading of Krishna consciousness. Today is also, it's called Madhav Tithi. Madhav Tithi is the appearance days of the Lord, Ekadashi, all these are Madhav Tithis, which Bhaktivinoda Thakur says is the mother of devotion. So other Gaura Purnimas, we had the Shiksha program where people used to take vows to chant the holy name. So today is a good day to, although we didn't do it this time, but today is a good day. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came to give us pure devotional service. Pure devotional service means there is nothing we want in return for doing service to the Lord. There is a nice verse in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Prema dhana vina vyartha daridra jivan dasa kori vetan more deha prema dhan. So it says, without love of God, my life is useless. And prema dhana vina vyartha daridra jivan. And I am doing service and I want my salary, right? Whenever we do service, we want a paycheck. So I want, in return for my service to the Lord, what do I want? You give me love for you, Krishna. So that is what, ideally, I mean, what I am speaking, I am not there yet, but this is our ideal, what we should shoot for. So it says, without love of God, my life is useless. Therefore, I pray that you accept me as your servant and give me the salary of the ecstatic love of God. So, in the Shikshashtakam, Lord Chaitanya did not write many books, or didn't write any book. Maybe he wrote one book, but that also he threw away it in the Ganga, right? So, but he left behind 8 verses, and they are all related to pure devotional service. How? Related to chanting of the holy name and pure devotional service. So when we receive the mercy of the Lord, then what happens? It changes. It changes what? Our value system. Value system means what we consider as the most important thing in our life. Like before, before we came to Krishna consciousness, we were thinking so many things were very valuable, right? Now we always think about, okay, is it favorable for my devotional service? Like I was giving the example that if I have 2 job offers, one job is paying high in salary, but it is in a place where there are no devotees. And another job is not paying such a high salary, but there is a temple, there are devotees, and there is opportunity to do devotional service. Before you come to Krishna consciousness, you may have chosen based on the salary part. But after you come to Krishna consciousness, many devotees ask, first thing, is there a temple there? Are there devotees there? So what has happened is our value system has changed. So that means we consider our relationship with Krishna as very valuable. And of course, relationship with Krishna cannot be in silo without relation with devotees. Relationship with devotees defines your relationship with Krishna. Otherwise, it becomes it becomes a neophyte devotion, kanishta. So our value system changes by 2 things. One is, of course, by association. When we come in the association of devotees, and then we read the scriptures. Those scriptures appeal to our intellect. That is one way our value system changes. Because we read the scriptures and we think, oh, Bhagavad Gita, what Krishna is saying, who I am, what I am going through in this cycle of birth and death, and I'm suffering. We don't realize all these things before. There is love, there is something higher in life to live for. So by intellectual understanding, our value system changes. Another way our value system changes is by experience. When we have some experience in bhakti. So when you chant the holy name, everything in life is about experience. When we go on a vacation, we want some experience. We want to go on a cruise, or so many people go so many places, restaurants and everything. It's all about experience. So when we experience some aspect of Lord's mercy in the form of a taste, that also changes our value system. And then the change in value system, we decide to give as our value system changes, we decide to give our time, we decide to give our energy, we decide to give our money. Whatever we think is valuable, that is where we put our heart. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by his mercy, he made this bhakti very easily accessible to everybody, which was very difficult, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu not only, because he is the Supreme Lord in everybody's heart. So little that you do, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants to give you more, even more than Krishna. Krishna says, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tansthathaiva bhajami ham. As you surrender to me, I will reciprocate accordingly. But Lord Chaitanya is very merciful. And even more merciful is Lord Nityananda. So by connecting with Lord Chaitanya, we get more mercy than we get from Lord Chaitanya, from Lord Krishna. So he gives us that bhakti experience very easily. Even we are disqualified. There is a nice verse which says, this patra patra vichar nahi nahi sthanastan, ye yahan paaye tahan kare premadan. Lord Chaitanya did not see who is qualified. In distributing love of Godhead, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates did not consider who was a fit candidate and who was not, nor where such distribution should or should not take place. They made no condition. Wherever they got the opportunity, the members of Panchatattva distributed love of Godhead. So, because they are intoxicated, an intoxicated person doesn't have rationality, logic. Nityananda Prabhu doesn't have any logical thinking because he's intoxicated with love of God. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, through Nityananda Prabhu, would approach all the downtrodden people, like myself. We have come because of Lord Chaitanya's mercy, coming through Nityananda Prabhu, through Srila Prabhupada. And that's why we are able to do some devotional service. We are able to chant the holy name. And through the Guru Parampara, through Prabhupada's disciples and things, mercy has come, descended to us. And it is amazing that we are able to do some devotional service. So, Prabhupada said one time, they asked him that what qualification? In the Bhagavatam, there is a verse. One who is chanting the holy name has performed all kinds of rituals. He has gone to all the holy places, has taken bath in holy places, has studied the Vedas. So one disciple asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada, we are chanting Hare Krishna. Does it mean that we have done all these things? And Prabhupada said, no, you didn't have any qualification. I made your qualification. So it is the mercy of the pure devotee. It can give you a boost. It can elevate you from, you don't have to go step by step. The mercy of pure devotee is so potent that it can just make you fly in the sky. So that is what Srila Prabhupada did. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he also, by his own example, he exhibited ecstatic symptoms. Normally, he would not exhibit ecstatic symptoms in public. He would only exhibit ecstatic symptoms in private, in Srivas Thakur's. But during Rath Yatra, if you read the descriptions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu during Rath Yatra, he would go into ecstasy and he would exhibit so many symptoms of ecstasy that people were seeing all this and they would get inspired, seeing that, oh, we can reach such levels of ecstasy and such joy is there. Just like when we see a pure devotee who is engaged in devotional service and is feeling so happy, don't we feel, maybe I should become like him? How satisfied and how contented and how happy he is. Maybe if I can become like him. That's how Srila Prabhupada, seeing Srila Prabhupada in bliss, and so many people were attracted. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very beautiful. In the Bhagavatam, there is a verse. Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Sango Pangasta Parshadam Yagnei Sankirtana Prayar Yachanti Sumedasha. He says, this incarnation of Krishna, or this particular incarnation, you can call it for now, but is describing Krishna, and he's in the same category as Krishna, Krishna Varnam. And his color is not like Krishna. He has come with all his associates, confidential companions, and he's propagating this Sankirtan movement. So he has come with his weapons. So what is his weapon? Jiva Goswami says his weapon, two weapons. One is his beauty. So he was very charming, very charming. He was long, Ajanu Lambita Bhujo. He had a golden complexion and long arms.
7 foot.
7 foot. Yeah, 7 foot. Even taller than Jadavacharya. No? How tall are you?
6'1".
6'1". Okay. So he was very tall, and when he would dance and chant, nobody could resist that. He was golden complexion, like a golden mountain. He would chant, and he would so beautiful. So, and he would, go into ecstasy, and people would see him, and just by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu looking at somebody, he would give his mercy. Many times it happened like that, right? In Mahaprakash Leela, Dukhi was one maid servant in Srivas's house. Maybe you're not familiar with Mahaprakash Leela, some people, but this was a time. So Lord Chaitanya did not exhibit himself as God usually, but sometimes he would go into this mood that he is God. So for 21 hours in the Mahaprakash Leela, there was a time when he exhibited the symptoms of ecstasy or as mood of God. How is God? There are so many pastimes which show that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is God. One thing is that they brought before him in the Mahaprakash Leela, they brought before him so many bananas and sandesh, and rasgulla, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu consumed it in one go, which no ordinary man can do. If you do, we'll have dysentery. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took everything, like in the mood of Govardhan, he was consuming everything. Another time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, anyway, I was going somewhere, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was doing Sankirtan with his devotees, and they came and they were very, very hungry. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took a mango seed and he planted the seed. There is Amra Ghat, right? Amra Ghat is a place. He planted the mango seed in the ground, and right before everybody's eyes, the mango tree grew, and they had all mangoes on the mango tree. And those mangoes were without any seed, and they were very delicious. Mango tree takes years and years to grow, and finally, and right before everybody's eyes, Lord Chaitanya did that. One time he was doing kirtan, and there were clouds in the sky, and it was going to rain. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu looked at the clouds, and all the clouds scattered. There is a place called Meghachar. If you go to Mayapur and you go to all these places, so that is where Lord Chaitanya, he exhibited. There was one pastime we can talk about. There's not too much time. So Lord Chaitanya, he went to a tour. So before that, in Mahaprakash Leela, he exhibited his potency as the Supreme Lord, and for 21 hours. So there was one maid servant in Srivas Thakur's house, and she was, being a lady, she was called Dukhi. Dukhi means very miserable, like that, because she was from a poor family. Nobody will name their child as Dukhi, like that, but they were thinking that maybe somebody will take pity on her, so they named her as Dukhi. And she was helping all the devotees perform the Abhishek, because Lord Chaitanya's Abhishek, like we did, was going on, and she was just in the background. And Lord Chaitanya is the super soul in everybody's heart. Sometimes we think nobody is watching. We should think Lord is always watching me. So it is not when I'm with devotees, when I'm outside, when what I'm doing, what I'm thinking, the Lord knows everything. So she was doing, and she was not craving for any recognition. She was just a simple maid servant. She was just helping the devotees perform their seva. And Lord Chaitanya, he said, who is that lady? Out of all the people present, who is that lady? And why? How did he know what her mood was? Because he's the Paramatma in the heart. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knew the mood, and he said, what is her name? Srivas Thakur said her name is Dukhi. Dukhi? That doesn't go well with me. I will name her Sukhi from today. And as soon as he said Sukhi and he glanced at the lady, ecstatic love of God erupted in her heart. So this is, although actually, okay, she was doing service. There was another time when Lord Chaitanya, he was as Nimai, he was roaming around in the, and he was decorated with many ornaments and like that. So two thieves came. And they saw Lord Chaitanya. It's good. If we steal all these valuable jewels, we don't have to steal for much time, let's get him. So they told Lord Chaitanya, come, Nimai, come. We'll take you to your house. And Nimai said, okay, take me to my house. And the thieves had an evil intention. They wanted to take him not to their house, not to his house, but to some place, their hideout, where they would rob him. They would rob him, take away all his jewels, and then what they will do, we don't know what their plan was. So Nimai went along, and they put him on the shoulders, and they went around. They were doing it, and then to lure Nimai, they gave him sandesh, and Nimai was having a nice ride, and he was eating sandesh. And they went around. Went around, and they came back. They thought they had come to that place where they were going to take away all the jewels. So then what happened? They put Nimai down and they were going to take out his jewels, and they saw, oh, this is not the place that we were supposed to be. This is Nimai's own home. We have come where we picked him up. Nimai had bewildered them, so they went around in a distance, and they came back to his own house. And then Nimai saw his parents, and while Nimai was gone, his parents were like crying and crying. Oh Krishna, where is our Nimai? Where is our Nimai? Nimai had one very peculiar characteristics. He would want to make people chant the holy name. So he would enact pastimes. He would create anxiety for people, and then they would chant the holy name. Like when he was young, nobody could stop him from crying. They were, take this lollipop, children, they take this toy, take this. Nimai was crying and crying and crying and crying. So one day they said, oh, Nimai is not stopping crying. So they were praying to the Lord, oh Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Please help. And as soon as Nimai heard the chanting, he stopped crying and he started smiling. And then they stopped chanting and Nimai started crying. So Nimai, from his very early age, he wanted everybody to chant the holy name. He was born, or he appeared, not born, he appeared on a lunar eclipse. So a lunar eclipse is not considered very, auspicious. So at that time, all the people, all the Hindus, to cast off the evil spirits, they were in Ganga. Navadvip, they were in Ganga and they were chanting the holy name. Even the Muslims, they were mocking and they were also chanting Hari Bol, like that. And the whole environment was filled with the chanting of Hari's names. And in that situation, Nimai appeared. So Nimai always created some anxiety in the hearts of his family members so that they would chant the holy name. Because devotees, when they're in anxiety, they take shelter of the Lords. One time, one snake came in the house, and Nimai ran and caught hold of the snake's tail, and then the snake coiled, and Nimai sat on the coil of the snake. So all his family members, his father, mother, they saw, hey Nimai, what is this going? What happened? They were saying, Krishna, Krishna, please protect. Again, they were, what to do, they didn't know, because this was a poisonous snake and Nimai was sitting right on top of the snake. And somebody even chanted, Garuda, Garuda, please come, please. And so then finally, Nimai realized, I'm causing too much anxiety. This was Ananta Sesh, who had come in the form of a snake, and Nimai sat on the snake. And then after some time, the snake went away, and they got back Nimai. And Nimai was running again to catch the snake. And the family members were thinking, oh my God, this child is too much. So he was doing all kinds of mischief like Krishna from the very beginning. He would go after school, he would go to the Ganga to take bath. So these thieves, these thieves who gave a ride to Nimai and gave Sandesh to Nimai, they were delivered also. They didn't have any intention of, serving him in any way. They were trying to harm him. And when Nimai came home, then the parents were thinking, oh, where have you been, Nimai? Nimai said, I was just on the bank of the Ganges. I was loitering about. And these two people, they wanted to bring me back home. So they brought me back home. So the parents were thinking, oh, we should reward them because, so they made some turban and this. And meanwhile, the thieves recognized, oh, we are in Nimai's home. And if we get caught, we'll be beaten up. So they started running. And these people, they wanted to give them nice turban and everything. And they could not find these two thieves who ran away. And they were saying, Goddess Chandi saved us today. Otherwise, what would have happened? So, like that. And but because they did some service to Nimai, they were eventually delivered. So Chaitanya Bhagavat says, if we hear this pastime of Lord Chaitanya, then we will also get delivered by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So these are some of the pastimes of. So anyway, I was talking about Lord Chaitanya's compassion. So there was one, and his miracle as God. So there was one Brahmana in South India. His name was Kurma Brahman. Kurma Brahman. So Lord Chaitanya came to his home. And a lot of people came from nearby to visit this Lord Chaitanya who had come on this tour. So there was one leper. This leper, his name was Vasudev. And he was living a distance away. And his whole body was filled with leprosy, and he was bitten by all the worms were there. And he had incredible consciousness. Whenever worm would fall, he would pick them up and put it back. Say, this is also your food, This also. When we have virus, we take antibiotics. It's like a nuclear bomb for the virus. We destroy the virus. And he was taking all the worms and he was putting it back. Oh, this is also your property. My body also belongs to you. Where will you get your sustenance? One time Prabhupada was in Vrindavan and somebody claimed and cleaned his room in Radha Damodar temple. And he said, oh, all these spiders, and why did you clean them up? Why did you clean all these spiders? They are Rajvasis. They were staying here before we came. Why did you cause inconvenience to them? This is the, what you can say, this is the vision of a devotee. So, so where I was? So the Vasudev leper. So I'm going everywhere. So sorry, I'm not very organized. So
Intoxicated.
So this Vasudev leper had incredible consciousness. He would put the worms back on his, and then he wanted to see. He came to know that Lord Chaitanya has come to Kurmakshetra, and I want to go and see him. So with great difficulty, he could not move very much. He had problems moving. He had a foul smell coming from him. Nobody would want to go near him. Nobody would want to help him. But with much great difficulty, he came to see Lord Chaitanya because he was a devotee at heart. But by the time he arrived, then what happened? Lord Chaitanya had left. Lord Chaitanya had left.
Left
In not left for the world or anything like that. He had left that place where he was supposed to meet. Yeah, so I'm just, Prabhu knows, but for the audience, he's clarifying. So he came there. And then Lord Chaitanya had gone a distance away. And this Vasudev leper was feeling, this is my only opportunity to meet the Lord, and I missed this opportunity. So he felt he went like unconscious. He had a trauma because he was so much attached to the Lord. Like when we hear about the news of somebody dying, right? Then we get into trauma. If near ones or dear ones die, then there's many people go into trauma. So he had a trauma and he went unconscious. But meanwhile, Lord Chaitanya, who had gone a distance away, he knew. He did not send a text message that, please come back. I've come here. Nothing. No communication was there. No Facebook. No nothing. That time there was no communication. So Lord Chaitanya, who had gone a distance away, how did he know that Vasudeva had come? Because he's the super soul in everybody's heart. So I was thinking, when we do devotional service, we may do with so many motivations in our heart, right? But Lord Chaitanya knows everybody's motivation, why we are doing what we are doing. So we should desire to do devotional service only for the purpose of pleasing the Lord and His devotees. That's the only thing, because that is what is most pleasing. Even if we don't have any talent, even if we can't do anything, Lord Chaitanya is not looking at any talent or any educational qualification. Nothing. He's not looking at our beauty. Nothing. Only one thing that can please the Lord. He's not even looking at whether you are doing the rituals correctly or not. He's only looking at our heart. And this Vasudev leper, nobody wanted to be near him. He was materially like gone. He was taking care of him, nothing. Lord came back. He had gone a distance, but he came back for his devotee. And then when he came back, Vasudev, Lord embraced Vasudev. And Vasudev was saying, only the Supreme Lord has such mercy. Nobody comes near me. And he quoted a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, which was recited by Sudama. When Sudama went to Krishna, he said, I am very sinful, you are most exalted, but you have embraced me. This kind of mercy, this kind of compassion can only be in the Lord. So of course the pure devotee, we say, is more merciful than the Lord also. But this kind of compassion. So when he embraced Vasudev, then Vasudev's leprosy went away. He became completely cured. And not only that, he became golden complexion, very handsome, very beautiful. So now he had another anxiety. He thought, now I've received the mercy. Now people will, come to me and, they will bow down to me that you are a great devotee. Everybody will bow. And then what will happen? I'll become very proud. And if I become proud, then what? Pride cometh before the fall, right? We say. Then I'll fall down. So he had kind of more anxiety than when he was suffering. So he told Lord Chaitanya, please, I am feeling very anxious. No, if you have a beautiful body, you will feel, it's very nice, right? What is wrong with it? It's like so wonderful. I'm so attractive to everybody. What is the problem? But he had, because he was in spiritual consciousness, he was thinking, I will become very proud of my, and I'll be known as the one who got the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. And so then he told Lord Chaitanya, I'm feeling very, very sad about this. How can I avoid being proud? So Lord Chaitanya said, do two things. Always chant Hare Krishna and tell others about Krishna. Then you will not become proud. So in that way, we can, maybe Krishna has given some ability to us. We can maybe do some things nicely. But to not become proud about our abilities, we should chant Hare Krishna and we should tell others about Krishna. Lord Chaitanya said, I am one gardener and I have only two hands, but I have so many fruits to distribute. So please help me. Actually, Srila Prabhupada said once, Mahaprabhu could have spread the Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. But he reserved the credit for all of us. Because Krishna likes to give credit to his devotees. Otherwise, Mahaprabhu is capable of doing himself. Just like in Bhagavad Gita also, Arjuna is being given the credit, right? Krishna said, I've already decided on but you take the credit. So the Lord also wants to glorify his devotees. And the more the pure the devotee is, the Lord wants to exalt him more. The more humble the devotee is, the more the Lord wants to exalt him. The more the name, the fame like spreads more and more. Like Madhvendra Puri, right? When he Gopinath stole a pot of sweet rice for him. Then next day he left because he thought now more people will come and they will come and they will start worshipping me. So he left from that place. But when he reached Jagannath Puri, everybody knew about him. Oh, Madhvendra Puri is coming. This is the person for whom, the Gopinath has stolen a pot of sweet rice. How it happened? Because the Lord wants to make his devotee very famous. So how Srila Prabhupada became famous? Like all over the world, Srila Prabhupada's glory is now spread. That because he was very, very dedicated, very humble. His qualities were, and he said sometimes, so what, you are sitting on that Vyasasan, you think you are a first class man? I am fifth class, he said. Right? He said like that. So like that. So this is some lesson that we learned. So by touching, even Sanatan Goswami, he also had some disease because he drank some water, and then Lord Chaitanya delivered him. So Lord Chaitanya came to give us three things: Nam Ruchi, Vaishnav Seva, and Jeev Daya. So Vaishnav Seva means serving the devotees. Serving the devotees. He himself said, Naham Vipro Nach Narapatir. 5 minutes more. Got the. Naham Vipro Nach Narapatir, Napi Vaishyo Na Shudron, Naham Varni Nach Grihapatir, No Vanasto Yatirva, Kintu Prodyan Nikhila Paramananda Purnamritabdir, Gopi Bhartu Padakamalaya Dasa Dasam Das. He says, I am the servant of the servant of the servant. And he showed that by his own example. He would wash the clothes of the devotees. He would make the devotees sit down when they would come from Jagannath to Jagannath Puri from Bengal. Then he would make the devotees sit and he would personally serve them prasad. Haridas Thakur was not allowed to go into the Jagannath temple because he was born in a Muslim family. And Lord Chaitanya, who is Jagannath himself, would personally come with prasad and to give him. So Lord Chaitanya showed by example. He would hold the clothes of his devotees while they were bathing. And he was very pleased with those who served. Like this Dukhi example, Dukhi was not directly serving Lord Chaitanya, but Dukhi was serving those devotees who were serving Lord Chaitanya. So in that way, she got the mercy. Even Maharaj Pratap Rudra got the mercy. Why? Because he gave Ramananda Rai. Ramananda Rai was in his kingdom a great ruler, a governor in his province. And Lord Chaitanya told Ramananda Rai, you come and serve me in Jagannath Puri. And because Ramananda Rai was under Maharaj Pratap Rudra, he had to ask permission from Maharaj Pratap Rudra whether he could go and serve. And he asked him that this is my, I want to go to Jagannath Puri. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has told me to resign my job. And what did Maharaj Pratap Rudra say? I will give you full pension. Don't worry. You are so fortunate that Lord Chaitanya doesn't want to see me. But see, this is another thing. He is not feeling, oh, Lord Chaitanya doesn't want to see me. He should also not get the benefit, Why is he getting the benefit? He was very happy to see that, oh, he's getting the benefit. Ramananda Rai is getting the benefit. And he gave him full pension and a salary. And he said, okay, you can go and serve Lord Chaitanya. Don't worry. And when Lord Chaitanya heard about all these things, then Lord Chaitanya became very favorable to. So Vaishnava Seva, there is another pastime that comes to mind about Devananda Pandit. Devananda Pandit was a great scholar of Srimad Bhagavatam. And he would recite Srimad Bhagavatam very nicely. But his recitation of Bhagavatam was not from a devotional point of view. He was having some impersonal tinge and like that he was. Time, Srivas Thakur, he came to Devananda. followers, and he came and he sat there, and Devananda Pandit speaking Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, because he was reciting the shlokas very nicely, Srivas Thakur understood the meaning, and he was a great devotee. So he went into ecstasy. He went into ecstasy, and in ecstasy, you don't know what you are saying, and he was like, speaking some words, and the class was going on. Devananda Pandit was speaking, the class was going on, and his followers were thinking this Srivas Thakur is creating a disturbance. So they took Srivas Thakur and they lifted him up and put him a distance away out on the road somewhere. And Srivas Thakur didn't realize, because he was in transcendental consciousness. He was completely. So then what happened? When Srivas Thakur again came back to consciousness, he realized what happened. Oh, and he was feeling sorry about it. But when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was passing by, when Devananda Pandit was reading his Bhagavatam, he said, he doesn't know anything about Bhagavatam. I will tear up his Bhagavatam and all the pages of the Bhagavatam. Nimai was saying like that because he had offended Srivas Thakur. So he said, I'll tear up his Bhagavatam. He doesn't know any single thing. But that same Devananda Pandit got mercy later on from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because another devotee, Vakreshwar Pandit, we have our Vakreshwar Pandit, he came, and Devananda Pandit, he was a great dancer. Vakreshwar Pandit, when he danced and he sang, a whole crowd used to gather to see him, because he is such amazing kirtan and singer and dancer, and he could dance for hours and hours and hours together. So sometimes in ecstasy he would fall. And this Devananda Pandit, he came to Devananda Pandit's ashram, and Devananda Pandit did some service. He was, protecting him from falling. He was like shielding the crowd from him and like that. So then Lord Chaitanya, when he met Devananda Pandit, he says, I am giving you mercy because you served Vakreshwar Pandit. Although you offended Srivas Thakur, but you served Vakreshwar Pandit, that's why I am giving you the mercy. Later on, the same Nimai who was very, angry with Devananda Pandit, now wants to give him mercy. So like that, there are so many pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. One time, and I'll end with this one pastime because it's almost time. In Srivas Thakur's house, they would do nocturnal kirtan, and only the most pure devotees, the most advanced devotees would get to come in, because Lord Chaitanya would go into ecstasy. He would go into ecstasy. So there was one brahmachari, and he was very, very austere brahmachari. He would only drink milk and eat fruits, because he had some idea that cooked food is not good for health. So many people have some idea about. So he had some idea. So he was telling Srivas, can you please let me in one day? Srivas was saying, no, you cannot. Lord Chaitanya knows everything. If I let you in, no, he has not allowed anybody. Only selected few are allowed. Why? Because Lord Chaitanya would go into ecstasy, and many people could not understand his ecstatic symptoms. So they would misunderstand. So not everybody was allowed. So one day Srivas Thakur thought, he's requesting every day, let him in. So he said, okay, but hide in some place, in some closet or something, so that Lord Chaitanya does not see you. So then what happened? Then Lord Chaitanya started dancing in the kirtan, and the kirtan went and like that for some time. And Lord Chaitanya said, I am not feeling any ecstasy today. Every day I am feeling some ecstasy. Today I am not feeling some ecstasy. Is anybody here who is not supposed to be here? And Srivas Thakur, he was afraid. He was terrified because he didn't want to displease Lord Chaitanya. So he said, there are no atheists in this room. There is no other, but there is one soul, one brahmachari. He is very pure, very austere. He only drinks milk. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very angry, and he said, tell him to get out, like that. So this brahmachari was shivering, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his angry mood, he says, tell him to get out. Do you think that by drinking milk, just by drinking milk and observing austerity, you can achieve me? Without devotion, nobody. Lord Chaitanya wanted to say that without devotion, nobody can achieve the Supreme Lord. Even if you are very austere, even if you do so many things, but unless you become humble, you serve the devotees. There's a verse, Mahat Kripa Vina Kono Karma Nai, huh? Dure Rahe Sansar Nahi Shoy. Krishna Bhakti. Unless you serve the great souls, Mahat Kripa, you cannot get delivered from this material existence. And what to speak of getting Krishna Prem? So without the mercy of the great souls, bhakti only comes from a bhakta. So then this Srivas Thakur, he said, he apologized, and this brahmachari was going out. He was thinking, at least for some time, I got to see. He was chastised, but he took that chastisement as mercy. He says, Lord Chaitanya was so kind that he allowed me to see the dance for at least some time. So it is said that even in adverse situation, when we remain grateful to the Lord, we don't complain, then tatenu kampam susamekshamano bhunjana evatmakritam vipakam ridvag vapur virvidadhan namaste jiveto yomukte pade sadayapa. So then when he was feeling very humble and he was feeling that, oh, Lord Chaitanya allowed me to see the dance for some time, he said, okay, call him in. Because Lord Chaitanya understood the heart. Again, Lord Chaitanya is understanding the heart. No words were spoken, nothing, but he could understand the inner feelings of that. So he could understand the heart, and he said, you call him in. And then he said, then he placed his lotus feet on the head of the Brahmana. And then he said, okay, because you are humble and you are submissive and you are grateful for what you saw, that's why you will be one of my, you can be allowed. So every day he would come and he would be allowed in the. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knows everything about us. And so we have to introspect ourselves and analyze our own motives and everything and what we are doing, why we are doing, because we cannot fool Lord Chaitanya. So the sincerity of pleasing the Lord is the only price to pay to get the Lord. Another time, 2 minutes, I'll say. One time Lord Chaitanya was in Jagannath Puri. In Jagannath Puri, he would go to see Lord Jagannath every day. So he would stand from at a distance. There was Garud Sthambh. Garud Sthambh, anybody seen the Garud Sthambh in Jagannath temple? He would stand at Garud Sthambh. Why? Because he was standing behind Garuda. Garuda is a devotee. So he's standing behind Garuda. So to approach, he was thinking that I cannot go close to the Lord. I have to stand behind Garuda. So one Orisan lady came. She was very old and she was very short. And she saw Lord Chaitanya was tall and he was looking at Lord Jagannath. So she wanted to see Lord Jagannath. So what did she do? She climbed on the shoulder. Somehow she climbed. I don't know how, because she was not that tall, but she climbed on the shoulder of Lord Chaitanya. And then she climbed on the Garuda Stamba to see the Lord. And his servant came, Govinda came. Govinda, he said, hey, get down. You cannot be on Garuda Stamba because this is offense. Garuda is a devotee. You can't stand on top. And you stood on the shoulder of Mahaprabhu. Come down. So he got her down. And when Lord Chaitanya chastised this Govinda, hey, you Adivasi, you don't know? She has so much eagerness to see Lord Jagannath. I don't have that much eagerness to see Lord Jagannath. I will take dust from her feet. So he was showing that in bhakti, unless you have eagerness and greed, you cannot get the Lord. Of course, we don't just try to see the Lord, but we act in a way that the Lord will want to see us. Sometimes in temples in India, everybody wants to rush forward to see the Lord. But the Lord is not just seeing when you're in the temple. When you're outside also the Lord is seeing. So you may be only 10 minutes in the temple. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, don't try to see the Lord. Act in a way that the Lord will want to see you. If I want to see Joe Biden, it's difficult. Maybe I don't want to see him, but if I want to see him, but Joe Biden wants to see me, then it's easy. So if the Lord wants to see, then it's easy. So the Lord will reveal based on our devotion. He's pulled by devotion. So, and in our humility, if we serve the devotees, then the Lord is pulled, he's attracted to us. Otherwise, the Lord will not look at it, look at anything that we may offer in pride or anything like that. Okay, so there are some pastimes that just came to mind, and I just said, so thank you very much for your.
So, devotees, on birthdays, we want to please the birthday boy. That's what we try to do, right? Whenever we celebrate somebody's birthday, we try to give him what pleases that birthday boy. So, what pleases Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Raising our hands and with so much enthusiasm, a lot of enthusiasm, we have to chant the holy name. That's what pleases Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, now it is time for all of us to stand up and keep the mats aside, and then do a loud, with so much enthusiasm, Hare Krishna.